Hi everyone, it's me, Murgoat here. I had a hard time drawing this because my hands were shaking the whole time, but it's alright. I finally got it done. Um, I drew this the day after my last video. The actual drawing, like the line art, was done, not the blue line art, but the black line art was done at the same time as my last one, which was like the 15th or something. I am not sure. I'm not sure. Um, but doing the line art and stuff was kind of a struggle on this, at least. But I wanted to get it done. I've been feeling it like I've just been in a drawing mood all week. And I was just tired of not drawing anything, but I was not really coming up with any ideas of what to draw. I mean, like, I have stuff that I want to draw, and I told some friends I would draw. I just haven't gotten around to it because I don't know. I guess I'm just not feeling creative. I decided not to do those, like, bludgeoning hands that aren't actually hands, and I decided to draw on some actual fingers because I felt it would add to the effect of the drawing, is just to have it more detailed, and also because in my other drawing, the one I did, the one in my last video, she has hands. And I'm not exactly sure why I decided to ink it without hands, because it's not like I ink right away. I draw it all in excuse me. I draw it all in pencil first. And I smooth out the lines and then I go in and ink. So I'm not exactly sure what I was thinking. But it happened, and I think I let it happen because I was like, it'll be fine. I will just Photoshop this later and it will have hands by then. And I can just Photoshop some hands, which is true, I mean, that's what I did. And here I'm going into color. I really felt like this piece was blue. The pants that I was actually wearing at the time that I was drawing for this are this color. They're blue, and I believe I made the shirt green as well because my shirt at the time was green. And I really enjoy how this piece turned out. I had a lot of trouble with the colors here for my skin because my skin has more of a yellow undertone, but when you draw a skin with like yellow undertones or like majorly yellow, which my skin is, it tends to look more sickly, and I am sickly. My skin is pretty gray yellow. Like I'm just a sickly person. I'm like always sick. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm applying for some help with disability and stuff because I'm disabled. I'm really sickly. It's like I'm not like it's I'm just sickly. There's no shame behind it. It's just a matter of the fact. Like a lot of people are like, "No, you're not disabled. Don't call yourself that." It's like it's not an insult to call myself what I am. Like I'm disabled. I have trouble getting around. My back hurts and sometimes it goes numb and sometimes I have terrible nerve pain. It just happens. So like this pose that my character Swirly Girly is doing is not something that I could do. I I mean, I'm sure I can do it like sometimes, but um or with like careful stretches. But I can't dance around a lot, and I'm the person who really wants to. I'm from like a really active family, even though I don't really get along with a lot of them. A lot of my family has been in the military. I wanted to go into the military, but again, I'm too disabled. Um, so I here I am just like cleaning up my colors, so that way I can not worry about it once I go into shading. And I believe I switch in between fixing the color overlines and or the color lapses and the lines. I'm fixing the lines here because the toe looked really pointy, and some of the lines on the circles were doing the whole loop-de-loop around into each other, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Um, so I decided to fix that. And then I had to go over again and fix some of the color overlay. Or, no, I always put the color under, so it's not really an overlay, it's an underlay layer kind of I don't know the names for it. I went to technical school for art communication and design for 2 years. And then I went to art and design college for a semester, which was very expensive, and my health was getting in the way. So I stopped going. So, little piece of information about me. And yeah, those lines that I had in there were just not working for me, so I decided to redo them. And I'm trying to pick a good color that would be decent for shading on my face. And I chose this really peanut butter color because realistically, that's just how my skin looks when it's darker, is just weird peanut butter. Except for because like I have skin and not peanut butter for face. It doesn't exactly look like peanut butter. So I went with this weird peanut butter color, which looks less peanut buttery once I start shading everything else. But considering I just told you that it looks like peanut butter, I'm sure you're going to associate it with peanut butter from now on. And I have zero problem with that. Zero. um, I am on Twitter as Skeletal Murgoat, and that's also one of my Tumblrs. That's my excuse me for my voice. That's my art blog on Tumblr. So you can follow me there, or like on my actual blog on Tumblr, which is Murgoat. And I was talking to Nat the other day, and we've replied. I mean, like we've kind of talked on YouTube a little bit, but I have a hard time talking on YouTube. And I was talking to him, and he was wondering why I haven't done any vlogs lately. And in all honesty, my laptop, which has a video, a webcam, it won't record any longer than 4 minutes. And if you know me, I ramble, as you've probably already heard in this video. So it just wasn't working for me, and I decided to not get frustrated over it and just let it be. So I was talking to Nat, and I was like, I was thinking back about his channel because I watch his videos quite a bit. Like while I was drawing this, I was listening to his videos and his vlogs, and I was realizing that live streaming is an option. So I might try to do that here sometime, but I'm not entirely sure. So I don't know. Excuse me. My hair is. I'm not sure how I feel about my hair because my hair has like. It's reddish tints, but like the way it is, it's also just ash brown with like reddish undertones or something. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know hair. Um, I'm sure a hairstylist could tell me what the actual words for it are, but I don't know. But so picking colors for my hair was hard, but I just I just flew with it. I was like, it's gonna get done today. I don't really care. Um, so that's the very, very interesting story of the decision on my hair color for this. The pants were also really difficult. Um, and in between this, like, my roommate's dog was like howling, so I had to stop every now and then, which is probably that pause that you just saw. Um, he doesn't like being alone, so we have to talk to him sometimes. And here I decided just to do an overlay of color and hope that it worked out correctly because I don't normally work with um, layer settings like I normally stick with just a normal layer setting and then just do the shading on my own because I don't always like how layers turn out, but I was just not feeling it. So I decided just to do an overlay. And I think, and here I am just, I, I, I was having a really hard time figuring out, like, what to do. And then I realized, oh, I can tone down the opacity and stuff. So I think it looks a little weird, but overall, I like the end result that I have. And I think it's appealing, at least to me. And considering most of my work is self portraits, that's honestly the end all be all for me currently. If it's not just for me, then I put a lot more like color theory effort into what I'm doing instead of just, oh, this looks good. I like these colors. Um because in personal pieces, it's mostly a it's mostly an expression of myself. So that's how I end up picking things, and the dog is probably about to howl, but that's alright. Um, and so I'm finally here just doing the background and picking some circles to put in there. And I was having a hard time making circles, as you can see right now. So I decided just to use the selection tool and draw some more perfect looking circles. None of them are actually like actual circles. I tried holding the shift key and stuff, but it was not working. So I just decided to make it look as much like a circle as possible and run with it. Because what else can you do when circles aren't working? Nothing. That's what. Um, and here I am trying to make it work and instead just grabbing the layer and moving it, which is also not what I was trying to do, but it happens. And I was trying to make the circles look more randomly placed while also not awkwardly placed, but I was having a hard time not having them in a pattern. I just had a lot of trouble with it. I mean, not a lot of trouble. I got the background done relatively quickly, and here I am, working on a pattern so I can make it into a brush and just place it down, place down the pattern to make it less whatever, to make it less circles. I felt there were a lot of circles in there, and I wanted to break up the design a little bit. And I hadn't made a new brush in literal years. I haven't made a brush in like 3 years. So I had to look up like 7 tutorials on YouTube because I'm working in CS6 and also I'm a little I have a little bit of trouble understanding things, like even if it's completely spelled out. I just have trouble understanding things, so I had to really speed this up, and then I had some trouble with the selection tool, which is what you're seeing currently, which I just think is funny. I think it's really funny when I have problems. I mean, it's just how I deal with stuff. It's funny. Um, but I believe I'm starting to figure out how to actually make a brush preset. I'm sorry, I keep on flashing my background there, and I can't really cut out the bottom of my screen because I have to do a window capture. I use a Cintiq. So, I have all of my stuff on one screen, like where I'm looking up YouTube tutorials, like on how to make a brush preset. And, uh, and then what you're seeing is my Cintiq screen. And I'm sure I can mess with it so that way you can see it better and not see the bottom of my active icons bar. But I I guess I should fix that at some point. At some point I'll get to it, and at some point I'll understand Photoshop, but that's not any time in the near future, so yeah. And I almost forgot to switch the brush the brush color to black because then you can actually use color. And here's the finished piece, which I really liked. So I hope you enjoy it.